Welcome to 100% Fresh with Two Chef Mission. We are Two Chef Mission, and today we are talking about how travel influences culinary creativity. So let's hop right into it.
We're gonna hop right in?
Yep.
Not fly?
No, we're gonna bunny hop. Hop, hop, hop.
Bunny hop?
Yeah, bunny hop.
Oh, goodness. So, have you done a lot of travel?
I've done a little bit of travel. We've been to Colombia together in 2017. That was fun. Loved it. We've done some cruising. So we traveled around a little bit in the Caribbean area. Much more than that, no. I've really just stayed stateside and
that's still
done
travel.
some. Well, okay. So in that regard, yes, we've done some travel through the states to Texas. I've traveled to California and up even to the Northeast in New York, and even going as far as Boston. What about you? I feel like you have far bigger list of.
You feel like that, or you know?
Oh no, I know that.
So I've traveled to Austria, Switzerland, Poland, Czech Republic, Australia. I got to go to Hawaii.
You did get to go to Hawaii, I remember that.
And then I've gone to a number of states, obviously. Texas.
Of course.
You know.
Where you're raised. Yeah, born and raised.
It's like I was born, and you like try to fix that, like, no, yes, Texas. And you do Texans. Yes. But anyways, we've also traveled a lot in Florida.
Yeah.
So we've gotten to try a lot of things here too, and Colombia.
That was a lot of fun.
And then also quite a few cruises as well.
Yeah.
So lots of travel. But we talked about kind of where we've gone, and I don't know if I missed any, but like that was on the jump of where it's been. But anyways, we talk about this because, I mean, why are we going to talk about influences of travel if we haven't traveled at all? Like, if we're like, where have you been? Miami.
Basically staying a 4-hour window around Orlando. You're like, I've been up to Miami, Jacksonville. Oh my God, Kissimmee, yeah.
Like, nowhere. But anyways, so the point is that travel definitely influences your culinary creativity. Why?
Because I would say it gives you ideas, it gives you inspiration, especially if you've traveled outside of the country. You have been able to actually experience and really immerse yourself into a culture that is not stateside, and it's very different from over here. I remember going to Colombia, and I am Colombian, so I grew up with a lot of these dishes that we had out there as well, and it was fantastic. I love them all, but being there and experiencing it was a whole different level. And actually getting to hear the atmosphere of the city around you and just really taking it all in, it just read to a whole different level.
Yes. So I would say a huge aspect of how it influences how it influences our creativity is through learning. Because when you go somewhere, especially out of the country, like you were saying, you're taking yourself from your own everyday normal, and it is totally different.
Oh yeah.
And it's great because, I mean, unless you don't like trying new things, then it might not be great. It's like, sorry, not sorry, because it's different. But it's really cool to get to see how other people in other cultures live and how they shop.
Right.
What kinds of foods they eat, how they live their life, everything. And it's super cool because that means that you get to try new flavors, new ingredients.
Oh yeah.
And then you get to kind of bring that into your little cookbook of knowledge.
Yeah.
And then come back with all of this, right? And then you get to like experiment with it and like meld it with your own creativity and exploring recipes and stuff, and it's just super excitingly fun.
No, and that's actually a great way to say it, because it really is fun. And at the end of the day, it's like you said, you're really now bringing these cultures that you went out and visited and got to learn about and really just kind of explore on a different level. instead of watching just like a video on it or something. Like you actually were able to be there and physically experience it and taste it like in real hand or like real time, and it's so different.
Yeah, I was like, I don't even know how many different like vendors of empanadas that we had.
Oh my god, yeah, when we were in
Colombia, it was so great because it was just like all the different places. It's just like when I was in Poland, there were so many different like types of pierogies and things like that to try, and it was super cool. It just and then like getting to actually have fondue in Switzerland and things like it just great experiences that are exciting, and getting to see how like Swiss cheese is made and things like that.
Oh, that's cool.
It was cool. At the time, I don't think, because I was young the first time I went to Switzerland, I don't think I appreciated it quite as much. Now, like, as an adult and also as a chef, I'm like, man, that was super cool to get to see as, like, a young teenager.
Yeah.
And get to, like, see the other side of, like, making cheese. It was cool now looking back.
Like, especially because, like, here, you know, stateside, unless you're watching like specific shows or unless you're really looking for that information and seeing the videos of how cheese is made, how everything is kind of put together to make that, you don't know fully. You just know it comes from milk, it's a dairy product, and it's cheese at the end.
It's cheese at the end.
And that's just how it's done.
Yep. Sometimes it might have a little bit of funk.
Exactly.
Right? But it's like, this is the good kind, right?
Yeah.
Because it's cheese. Right. But it's funny because we dove into the how and methods of like getting to see how things are created and done, which we got to do in Colombia as well, with getting to, because there's lots of like stands and vendors and things like that where you get to like see what they're doing. Yeah. Whereas here, I mean, obviously everything's in a restaurant. Like, unless there's like somewhat of an open kitchen, you don't get to like just check out what they're doing.
I would say even at that, even the open kitchen concept, or like the idea of being able to see the kitchen and kind of see what's going on in that back of house is kind of few and far between in restaurants. I know of one chain that actually does it, which I used to work there.
Yeah, but even still, it's a chain, so it's like not as cool as like these different kind of hole in the wall places.
Right.
And it was cool because like when I was in Poland, getting to actually make pickles. So like where we were staying, the family we were with, they make pickles like all the time. So they're pickling cucumbers and things like that, and getting to actually do that with them. And
yeah, that's an experience in itself, and being able to say, like, you know, I was able to make my own pickles when I was in Poland, like, that's huge.
And, and then also kind of, like, getting to then see, like, how they would do sauerkraut and things like that. Nice. The other cool thing that would be, but obviously we have to go there, would be learning kimchi.
Oh, I would love to learn how to make kimchi.
But that's, like, a whole
process.
Whole other trip, right?
Exactly.
Going. But that's the exciting thing, is that in order to really grow ourselves creatively, because as people, as chefs, as people in culinary and things like that, you're kind of always learning. So the exciting thing is like the world is your oyster, right? You get to,
absolutely. And there's
all the learning to be
done. So much that can be learned and taught and just really gained from getting to understanding not only how these cultures are, but like why they cook the way they do, how they cook the way they do, the process that, you know, probably has been around for hundreds if not thousands of years in some cultures. And it's really eye-opening, and to be able to experience that, I think is something anybody and everybody should learn.
Definitely.
Now, talking about that and talking about learning about these different cultures and how they do and the methods that they use, why don't we actually step away from the methods and that process and go into some of the flavors that these cultures may use and how they may be different from the flavors even here stateside.
I was like, not annoyingly, my brain, like, not even before you, so like, you're like, let's take it, and in mine, like, Colombia, the, like, ice cream that they put cheese on it. So it's, like, so random, but it was so good.
And you know what's funny? That it's, like, just taking that one line is, like, a huge out-of-context line, but if you've got to try it. It was something that surprised the both of us when we got there. In fact, we were both like,
delicious.
We'll buy it, but we're not really sure if that's the way we want to go with it. And after the first bite, we're like, oh my god, this is a game changer. And it was so good, and we loved every bite.
Yeah.
I don't even know how many times we went to get ice cream that time we were there.
I don't know, we were there for a while.
Yeah.
Ice cream is delicious. It's like, I regret nothing. Ice cream. With the weight of my heart, ice cream.
That's true.
It's not, yeah. Poland, they had like, well, they had this cream cheese that was like, I love pickles too, so.
If
bear
you're
with
not
me.
a big pickle fan.
Like, it was like a dill and like cucumber, but like, it was like a pickle flavored cream cheese. It was delicious. They don't have it here, obviously. And then they have like a sour cherry jam, which was delicious as well.
That sounds delicious. I would definitely get that. Now, granted, I also would try the pickle flavored cream cheese because I like pickles as well. So that would not be something I would turn away from, but that jam sounds delicious.
It is good.
Now, I guess the way I was really more so trying to get into the flavors.
I know, I got distracted with ice cream now.
The way I was trying to get into flavors is actually just really discussing the kind of potency of the flavor and maybe some of their spices. And we've been fortunate enough that one of our close friends, has been able to travel to Europe during Christmas markets.
She brings us cool stuff
she
back.
always brings us a lot of really great stuff. This last time she brought us...
It was like a truffle bruschetta type mix. But it was really cool. We ended up using it on New Year's Eve on an herb roast. And then we also made like a truffle mac and cheese. It was delicious.
Fantastic.
And last time she brought us truffles.
Yeah, like actual
and truffle oil.
And truffle oil.
Which I found out that I'm cool with truffles, but truffle oil is a little bit strong.
Yeah, but...
It's a lot of bit strong if you've had truffle oil. You only need a little bit.
Another great example, though, about, like you're saying you only need a little bit, is we did also get some paprika. I believe it was smoked paprika.
Oh, okay, yes, that was another time. She brought us smoked, like Hungarian smoked paprika. That was cool.
It was amazing, and the flavor profile of that was so different from what you would find at your local grocery store.
Nothing, it compares to nothing like that.
You had to use such a minute amount to get so much flavor, and I really think that's where like the flavors of these countries and really being able to experience something outside of what we know here in the United States is huge.
Also, have we all had a jarred pesto or a pre-made pesto that isn't homemade? The thing is like for me, we have, but it's not as good.
No.
Okay, it's not as good. But she brought us back a pesto, and I believe it had like limoncello and stuff like that. But we also have a mustard, which we haven't tried the mustard yet. But anyways, the pesto is delicious.
Yeah.
And we used that on like chicken and vegetables and stuff.
It was amazing. Loved it.
So if you're traveling to other countries, if you're a culinarian, or if you just love travel, try different ingredients, try different food products, try as much food and things like that as you can. Because it's totally worth it, and you're going to find something that's like amazing, and you're going to want to buy it forever and be sad that you left. But it's so worth it because it broadens your culinary horizons, whether as a profession or as just loving food.
An enthusiast of food, yeah. No, that's great. And I love that point and how you finished that off. And, really kind of talking about trying different things and the ingredients that are in them actually really takes us to the next point of our ingredients and how they can vary so widely from being overseas or being in a different country to what we have here in the States, I was going to go somewhere with this specifically, and my brain just lost it.
Like what country?
Man.
You can narrow that down. It's like ingredient-wise, it's interesting. So, like, for instance, a salad, right? In Colombia, they weren't big on salad.
No, it's just like kind of like shaved lettuce.
Yeah, it's like not big on it.
And it's always like a small side.
Right. Poland, if you got salad, it was going to be like a little trio. Like it was like a carrot salad. There would be like a purple cabbage salad, and then there would be green cabbage. So like it was a mix of like cabbage salads basically. They were all delicious, but they were like equally different and stuff. But just in general, a salad, you're not expected to be like, I mean, yes, expected to be different, but like, I mean, I don't know. I love salad. Like, apparently you're going to hear all the things that I loved. I love salad. So if I don't have salad, I'm kind of missing it. But it's cool to see just something like that is totally different in multiple places.
Actually, you just brought me back to exactly where
I was thinking.
You brought it back. Thank you.
See, me rambling about salads brings you back.
Yes, thank you. So the reason I brought up ingredients is actually I've done a lot of reading on this, and I've been doing a lot of research into this. And of course, we're not medical professionals, so if what we say is not.
What are you reading into? Oh no!
It's talking about how in Italy.
You're talking
process
about
of how they.
I'm gonna look this up.
No, it's a real fact. It's a real fact.
It's a fact. Okay, maybe don't say real fact. Okay. Is it an Instagram fact?
No, I actually did research like off Instagram and off Facebook.
I'll research.
That's not always true.
We'll put a link.
Yeah, we'll put links.
Link our source.
So what it is that the Italian government, the way that they handle and process gluten and wheat products really doesn't cause the gluten to be as potent or as strong as, let's say, if you were to have an item here in the States, either it be bread, if it's like a pasta or something like that. And of course, I'm not saying that if you're gluten free or if you're gluten intolerant, go to Italy and have all the gluten in the world, because no, just don't do that, please. I don't want you to get sick and have a terrible vacation.
Yeah, I was like, you're not.
But it's really one of those things that the countries outside of the States have such high standards on how they handle their ingredients and how they cultivate it and how they are processing it, that it really lends to the ingredients themselves having more flavor and more
Yes, but where are you going with the...
I'm talking
the less processed, the more flavor, the more standards, all of that, yes. But where are you going with the...
Italy and gluten?
Yes.
It's just the fact that, like, So what I was reading is that there are people who have maybe had intolerances here in the States, and then they've gone to Italy, and then they've eaten pastas or breads there, and they're like, wait, my intolerance isn't flaring up.
Is this because of the idea of less process?
Because it's slower process in the way that they do it and they manage it, it doesn't release as much gluten, or it slows down how the gluten is actually distributed through the product itself.
Interesting.
Yeah, like I said,
this is worth researching.
I've done some research on it, and
we will find a link.
Yeah, we'll find
on this research.
But it's one of those things.
But don't.
That's why I said we're not medical professionals.
Yes,
so don't.
If you are,
don't do these things. Really consult somebody.
Yeah.
Before doing these things, I don't want you having a terrible vacation.
No, yeah. Because as you're saying this, I'm like, where is this going?
Oh, I know. I could read it all over your
It is
face.
very true that like the process of foods in other countries is totally different, which is what it is. But, yeah.
I really feel like that was just...
That was a little interestingly weird bow to tie on there with the end of that, but
I was trying to make a point with ingredients and how the fact that the world handles their ingredients
different,
vastly different than what the States do. So
you can find different things all over the place. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool if you like you know, I mean, for instance, now they've kind of come into the U.S., but there's Kit Kats from like around the world that are different flavored.
Oh yeah.
That has nothing to do with gluten and everything to do with just
different flavors of it.
It's kind of cool that they have different flavors everywhere. It's kind of chips, same thing. So it's worth exploring. See, broadening your horizons, and even if you're only broadening your horizons. Oh my goodness, everything's just going to be muddled with like little snack foods. But it's worth exploring, and it's worth growing your culinary creativity with travel, because we definitely have.
Exactly.
And it influences your learning. It influences the flavor and ingredients profile that you get to like bring into your repertoire.
Exactly.
And then use. You can learn new methods on how to do things. Like, I would love to get to like learn pasta.
Oh yeah, like actually go to Italy and like learn how to make different types of pasta, because there's so many different types of pasta out there. It's insane.
And even though I like have made pasta, it is not like it would be so cool to do it there, right? But yeah, so you get to learn the different methods and see how they are, because a lot of places they have like cool stands and stuff that you can watch people make what they're doing and see it, and that's just super cool. If you like watching, like chefs cook and stuff like that. If you're into like chef tables and stuff like that, it's just super cool. But you also get to immerse yourself in different cultures.
Absolutely, and I think that's such a great part of it is being able to experience everything that you're saying, and really being able to then have a different appreciation and understanding of what is out there. And I know we've listed off a number of examples.
Yes. Now, if you're like, guys, I can't travel right now. It's, you know, a little tough for me and it's crazy. Find local places.
Yes.
Because there are some hidden gems everywhere. Whether you can find Polish, you can find Greek, you can find Colombian, you can find
Middle Eastern,
like Lebanese, all kinds of, you can find all kinds of flavors, because
Indian,
we live in a melting pot of all kinds of cultures. So if you can't travel outside of the country, find somewhere local and kind of do your research and see, okay, is this really someone who knows what they're doing or really knows more about it? Or maybe I should find a different restaurant.
Right, because every restaurant's different. And if it's a restaurant so proud and, you know, excited and happy to be representing the country and the culture that they are representing, most of the time it's going to be somebody from that region of the world, and they're really just there because they love their food and they love their culture and they want to share it with everyone. So if that's what you're seeing and you're finding this locally, go and support those shops. Those are going to be some of the best shops. Become repeat customers, try so many different items, and just support them.
And we say to do this whether it's local or if you can really travel. It's because it's a necessity. Especially if you are in culinary, it's so necessary to continue to grow your skills and your horizons of different cultures and flavors and ingredients.
Absolutely. So, with that, we're so happy that you were able to join us today on our podcast. And
if you want to, connect with us or our community, where we help people meal plan and cook and have new recipes and with all kinds of things food related, check out our Facebook group, Meal Planning for Busy Parents.
Yeah, because it's going to be a great place for you to come together with other individuals and other people from everywhere that are wanting to become stronger at meal planning or learn new recipes and just want to be able to have somewhere where they can share those pictures of what they've been making.
And if you liked this podcast and you want to see more of 100% Fresh with Two Chef Mission, please like and subscribe to our podcast and share it with a friend, because we love getting to do what we do and talk with all of you and share all of everything that we share. And we would love to keep doing it.
And you can find us on all socials at 2Chef Mission. And until next time, let's keep it 100% fresh.